How to score on every drive in Madden 24 sounds like a clickbait title from a Madden money shot video, but is it even possible? It's pretty easy to make your way downfield, but to actually score, you often need to score in the red zone, which is from the goal line to the 20-yard line. In this area of the field, the passing windows get tighter and the run defense gets even better. And as a result, most players either turn the ball over or end up settling for a field goal. So in this video, we're going to show you the top 5 best ways to score in the red zone, including 3 pass concepts and 2 run concepts. Now, if you actually want to get better at Madden, I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel for more top-notch content like this. The first concept is called hitches or ghost routes on the numbers, and it is one of my favorite ways to score in the red zone. In the MCS, where players compete for hundreds of thousands of dollars, this is a staple of their red zone offense. Take this play here by John Beast, where he uses a ghost route that lands directly on the numbers, which will pull any zones and allow him to throw the post route wide open in the back of the end zone. To run the hitches on the numbers technique, we must be cautious of what formation we're in because not all formations will work. So first, I'm going to introduce the concept, and then I'll showcase exactly what you're kind of looking for in order to use the hitches or ghost route on the numbers technique. So first, let's do it in tight doubles to show you the concept, and then I'll show you exactly how you can apply it in a variety of different formations. So in general, the simple concept requires a slot apprentice, or even a slant route will usually work, or even something like a short crosser like this. So I'm aligning my tight end to the short side of the field, and the reason that is because that puts the circle receiver, MVS in this case, on the numbers. And I mean it literally. As you can see, he's sitting in a vertical alignment with that 10-yard line marker on the field. What that does is that will make sure that he is in the perfect spot to manipulate any flat zones, pull them down and in, and any deep zones to pull them inside. Now what happens is this leaves the back corner on the right side wide open. So let me show you what I mean. First, I'm going to hitch circle, right? Now it's going to be different for every formation, so I'm not going to go through all the buttons. If you need a hot route adjustment seminar, I highly recommend you check it out, or just go through the control menu, sit in practice mode, and you will learn them. Now the most important route on the field is the receiver we're going to put on a post or a slant or even a short crossing route. If you don't have a stock route crossing over the field like this, I would recommend just using a hot route post from a slot receiver. Now those hot route posts require a hot route master or slot apprentice, but there are a bunch of formations that have short crossers that I'll show you even in tight doubles. The square receiver doesn't necessarily matter. What I like to do is put them on a curl or maybe even another hitch, so the user has to be responsible for it. So now when I run this play, what you will see is that the hitch will manipulate any flat zones, it'll pull the deep zones in, and it'll leave this post wide open for an easy touchdown in the back corner. If I were to run a cover 2 defense, right, you'd see the exact same result happen. I'm gonna run it one more time. I'll run it the exact same way, no adjustment differences. What you will see is that hitch completely pulls that cloud flat down, and we can throw this post route wide open again in the corner of the end zone. Since cover 3 is basically the same as cover 4 for defending that back corner of the end zone, in fact cover 4 is even better, I'm going to quickly show you how it works versus man coverage. Now since we have this hot route post, we can pretty well depend on this to beat man coverage very easily, and we can once again throw it in the back corner of the end zone. Now that you understand the concept, I'll show you exactly how you can apply it in different formations. So let's say we're in tight Y off. This is the exact same set as tight doubles. We can do the exact same thing because that circle receiver is once again on the numbers. So that would be the same concept, right? And then of course, we can also do this out of bunch strong nasty. So for example, if I wanted to do something like this, we'd have to be a little bit more cautious of cover 2, but if I did run it, you could probably put circle on a hitch, and this will do a very good job at beating those style of defenses. So I'll just show it versus a cover 4 drop, because that's probably the most common defense you face in the red zone. So once again, if I snap this ball, wait just a little bit longer, and you could see this square receiver is open in the back corner of the end zone, even though I overthrow him just a little bit. Now that the concept is understood, I'm going to showcase a few use cases in other formations. So in this case, I'm in gun bunch, and what I'm going to showcase is the triangle receiver. If I put him on a ghost route, in this play Steelers cross, and you could put this guy on a hot route post, but I'm just going to leave him on the crosser in this case. This will pull any zones down and inside, which will allow us to throw this crosser in the back corner of the end zone like we have been doing in all our other formations. And as you can see, it's an easy possession catch. Now, if we wanted to do this in the trips tight end formation, we'd have to identify who's closest to the numbers. In this case, this is Kadarius Toney, and he is very close to the 10-yard line marker. So all we're going to do is put him on that hitch route. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our tight end on a post to pretty much have that exact same concept. The next thing I would do is put the circle receiver on a streak to hold any deep half zones. So now what we have is a great hitches on the numbers concept with that backside post that we're looking to throw in the back of the end zone. So if you wait about a little bit, you could see he's wide open for a 15-yard touchdown every single time. Now, if you're in a formation like Trey Y flex or trips tight end flex, where the tight end is pushed just a little bit farther out, he's close enough to the numbers to allow us to use this technique. So what I would do in this case is I'd put the tight end on a hitch, and then we have a post. So in this case, this seems like we're flooding everyone to the right, and that's because that's exactly what we're doing. But the thing you'll notice the most is that this circle receiver will once again be wide open in the back corner of the end zone for an easy touchdown. The second concept is called jet sweep, and it is by far the best way to score when you are 3 yards or closer to the end zone. Pro player Kobo even used this concept in a $15,000 game to punch into the end zone when he needed it. Now, to run the jet sweep, you can do it in two different ways. You can either snap the ball just like this and try to reach to the edge before anyone gets you, and this is usually a very effective way of getting into the end zone. But there is a glaring problem with doing this. If you do decide to do this, what will happen is that if they're in a defense suited to stop you, you will get stopped, or it's very high risk and you'll end up losing yards. The best way, in my opinion, is to immediately jurtle when you get the ball. So to do this, what we're gonna do is press left stick up the entire time, hold the R2 button, and after you snap the ball, begin to spam the triangle or Y button if you're on Xbox. This is a much lower risk play, and if you pull it off, you can get in the end zone very quickly. It's almost like a goal line fullback dive, but it's even better. So even if they were to pinch their defensive line and pinch their linebackers just like so, and even put their safeties and spies to stop this play, it would still be top notch after we use this jurtle. They would have to tackle you, and you're pretty much untackleable when you use this jurtle. So I highly recommend you use this as a jurtle jet sweep rather than just a regular jet sweep, because this is by far the best way to score when you're at the 3-yard line and in Madden 24. The third concept is called zig flat, and it is the best when you need between 5 and 7 yards in the red zone. To use the zig flat concept, I highly recommend you use it on the short side of the field because it is much more difficult to guard. So right now I'm in the bunch formation because it's very easy to put a flat next to a zig. So in this case, if I wanted to do it in bunch, all I would do is put the square receiver on the outside on a flat route. Then I would put R1 on a zig and the tight end on a drag. But the most important thing here is that we have this flat route and this zig route. Now what will happen is the flat will pull out any flat zones and the drag will pull in any hooks. So as a result, the zones will look like they're playing over here and over here. And that will leave us a wide open spot in the end zone to throw our zig route. So once again, when I run this play, you can see they do exactly what I say they're gonna do, and we can throw this zig wide open. But you don't necessarily need to be in a bunch set for this to work. So right now, I'm in tight doubles, and you could do this exact same thing on the 2 receiver side. All I'm gonna do is put the triangle receiver on a zig and the square receiver on a flat. Now this will have pretty much the exact same effect, but the window will be slightly smaller. Once again, we're gonna aim to throw this zig in the back corner of the end zone, or pretty much at the front of the end zone, I should say, for an easy touchdown. And this is by far the best way to score when you need 5 to 7 yards, because if their user isn't right on top of that, it's a very easy touchdown for you. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, chances are you'd love the exclusive content on victoryformation.gg. We currently have my entire Steelers offense with by far the best red zone offense in Madden 24, my dollar defense, Sean's spread playbook game plan, and over 50 game-changing tips in the laboratory. Just 2 of these tips in the lab showcase the best cover 3 one-play touchdown and the easiest way to beat man coverage in Madden 24. Unlock everything for only $9.95 and take an additional 15% off with code SWOLO. Now the fourth concept is halfback stretch, and I understand it's very common, but it must be ran in a very specific way in order for it to be effective. Despite how common halfback stretch is, Even pro player Henry used it to score a touchdown versus Dubby in a $10,000 MCS game. Running halfback stretch properly is even a funny thing to say because more often than not, it's very easy to score in the red zone when you run halfback stretch. The problem is when you're playing elite or even novice players that understand how the run defense works, what they will do is they'll press their defense and blitz their outside corner. And when they do this, what you will see is that that outside corner will hit you in the backfield for often a 5-yard loss. And because of that, that might be the difference between you scoring or kicking a field goal. So in this case, the reason I like these single back wing tight or single back wing pair offenses so much is because we still have the option to run to both sides because we have this receiver on the other side, which they will not often blitz because they're afraid he'll go on a route. So of course we could just snap the ball and run halfback stretch to the receiver side and score. The other thing we could do is utilize motion in order to nullify that blitzing corner and allow us to run to both sides. So what you can actually do is grab this tight end and motion him out to the right. We motion him out, snap the ball, and oftentimes he'll seal the edge for us, which will allow us to get into the end zone or, at the bare minimum, prevent us from losing yards. So once again, I'm going to show it one more time. I'm going to blitz that outside corner, just like so. And what you will see is that when I motion this tight end out at the right time, he'll seal the edge for us or allow us to just walk into the end zone. And that's why halfback stretch, although a very easy thing to run, if you understand how the motion works and the best formations to call it out of, like single back wing tight, single back ace, single back wing pair, you'll be at a huge advantage whenever you're running it or trying to punch it into the end zone. The final concept has been a staple of all pro player offenses for the past decade, and that's the short side wheel route. This is a favorite combo of pro player Dez, who used it to score versus K-Mac in a $10,000 MCS game. To run the short side halfback wheel concept, all we need is our running back on the short side of the field, and we want to put him on a wheel route. The other important factor here is that we have someone attacking the flat. So I'm going to put the square receiver on an out route. The reason we do this is so that this slot cornerback will play far outside as opposed to inside where the wheel route is. So what we're going to do is just throw this wheel route as soon as that curl flat steps outside, and it's usually a very easy possession catch touchdown. Now this is great versus cover 4, and this is great versus cover 3, but I would not recommend it versus a cover 2 style of defense. The other thing that we can do is call cover 1 robber against it. The problem with running man against it though is that wheels actually destroy man coverage. If you wait just a half second, it's always wide open in the back of the end zone for an extremely easy touchdown. After watching this video, you're now ready to score on every single drive in Madden 24. And if you're interested in what offenses I recommend you apply them to, I'd highly recommend you check out this video.